going on YouTube? It's Kid the Barber with another video on how to do a taper with a number 4 all around. So we're gonna start with a detachable blade on the Supra. We're gonna start on the top just to get the bulk off. The client here hasn't got a haircut since the quarantine, so we're just going to remove everything that he's been growing out since all this time. So just watch what I'm doing, go against the grain, grab a comb all the hair out so you know where you're actually cutting through and where you need to go over it again. Stay tuned for the whole video. You'll be able to see all types of different techniques I'll be using in this haircut. It was a pretty hard haircut because there is some parts that he has that it was a little bit harder to fade, especially in the back. He had a lot of a little bit of dents and basically dark spots that I had to go over and over, but you'll see that in the rest of the video. Stay tuned. So as you can see here, I did a number 4 detachable blade on top of his head, and I'm going to do a 3.5 on the sides just to kind of like lighten up the spots and just making it easier for me when I do the taper. When I say 3.5 on the sides, it's basically on detachable blade is actually 3 3/4. So right now I started with the outliner on the Supra. It's a detachable blade that you can buy separately. It's like around $20 here in Pennsylvania, so I don't know if other places are more expensive, but so I start out with about an inch below or under, you could say, under the earlobe on the back, so you can make that nice and straight so that all your fade is going to be nice and even. So now we're gonna clean it off and make it nice and smooth with the shaver, Babyliss Pro. As you guys can see, I actually go right under the first line. I don't really take it all the way to the line because if not, it's gonna make a really hard line. It'll be hard to take off. And then now we're going to open the level. That's a half. I call that a half. And as you can see, I kind of take a little bit higher than what I usually would, only because on the back he really has hairs going sideways. So you'll see on the video it was a little bit harder for me to fade. I went over a couple of times. I remember on my previous videos that you guys can watch, I follow the same technique, which is, you put the half and then you make your first guideline, and then little by little I go about 4 times with the level going up on the clipper to erase the line little by little. So I take now my number 1 plastic guard and with the level open, and then I'll close it and go right under the first line that I made with the 1 guard open. And now we're gonna grab my 1/16 guard, and the same thing that I did with the half, that I went little by little going 4 times up on the level on the clipper. You're gonna be doing the same exact thing with the 1/16 plastic guard. Don't be afraid to actually go back to it and just kind of use your corners of your clipper and go back and forth and play around with the fade so you can get the best results that you're looking for. see, I went back to the 1/16 after I started using the half and just trying to get those hairs that I was telling you in the beginning. It was a little bit tough for me to fade out. At this point, it's just going back and forth and trying to take the dark spots off. Now we're gonna use the number 3 detachable blade. That's 3.5. That's gonna be on the metal. So I'm gonna go over about 1.5 inches above the line, and now we're gonna work our way down with the 2 3/4 and so on. So after I ended up doing the detachable metal blades, I went back to the 1/16, just trying to make sure there's the spots, especially around the corners. As you guys can see, I'm going over a couple of times. It was still a little bit dark. Start outlining the sides with the T outliner, cordless, and we're just gonna make sure just keep it as natural as possible so we don't have to push any hairline. And again, we use a detachable outliner blade to make your first outline for the taper on the sides. And you kind of go a little bit above the ear, then you use the shaver. Same procedures as the back. You always do the same procedures that you do everywhere. You do it on the sides, you do it on the back, and if you follow that same routine, the whole fade is gonna come equal. Now on the side, you see that my half, it's not as high as the back. If I take the same length, the same height as the back, then I will go ahead and make it too high on the sides and it will look like a high taper. But this one is just like a regular taper, so I'm going to take it about 1/4 inch or so for my first guideline. After fading in the beard, you guys saw that I was started with the one plastic guard open, so that way I can set my guidelines and not go more than that, because if not, I will take off more of the beard. And just do you use the half and play with the level until you get the line up. Now we also started the open one, as you guys can see, and this was now the 1/16 open, and just little by little you start closing it in. And use your corner, especially for the size of the head, when you're doing blowouts, so that you don't take too much at once. Remember, with the detachable blade, they're always a little bit shorter than the plastic guards. So if I did a 3.5 on the sides, which is 3 3/4, Now this is a number 2 plastic bar, and if I leave it open, it kind of is kind of like a 3 on if I was using metals. And now I closed it. As you guys can see, I put the level all the way high, and I just took over the line, and you saw how it's disappearing little by little. And now I have the 1.5 plastic bar, which turns into a 2 in detachable blade. So now you can see the transition looks a lot cleaner now. Now I just use the one plastic guard to just go over it and kind of attack the dark spots that's on his blowout. And you guys can see I'm always using the corners the whole time I'm doing the blowout on the side. Now with the shape out, I will start in the middle and work my way to the corner so I can keep it as natural as possible. And of course, whatever you do on one side, you do the same on the other side. Same procedures, nothing changes. I use the same exact technique all the way around, so my fades are all the same all the way around. And remember, fellas, you don't have to rush on a haircut. You know, if it's your first time doing a taper, you don't have to rush at all. Even especially if the client knows that you're learning, there's nothing wrong with just you taking your time and making sure that the quality is as good as what they want them to be. So if you don't rush at all, you will actually learn better to give quality, and then with time you'll be able to get the speed. Remember the same thing that I did on the other side. I started from the middle and took it to the other corner. Hey man, there's nothing wrong looking at it a couple of times and just making sure that the line is straight. I'd rather have a customer to leave out of my chair satisfied than somebody that will just either go on a rant and tell your friends and that the quality wasn't there, or you know, returning customers telling you that you didn't do a good job the last time. Now we'll just apply some elegant shaving gel to remove those hairs. I seen some barbers do dry shave, and that's fine. But I don't want to risk it and have a client that has really dry skin or sensitive skin to turn red when he gets home. Always stretch out the skin. You don't want the blade to get caught up with a wrinkle in somebody's skin, and as well as look out for moles if they have it in the back of their neck. That's very important. As me learning to be barber before, a professional barber, I encountered some moles that I was unfortunately able to take off by accident, and it wasn't pretty. If you guys want me to show you guys how to do eyebrows in a separate video, I'll be able to do a very more detail on how to start them, but I'll give you a sneak peek on this one. Well, there you have it. This is the final result. A taper with a number 4 on top, 3 3/4 on the sides, with some eyebrows done. If you guys like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be definitely be posting more and more content. Take care.